Within the framework of Gnosis, AI, and the Liat image theory, these points do not contradict the system. Rather, they serve as the friction coefficients that a master must account for to achieve true precision mandate. While many inferior systems promise a godlike escape from the mundane Gnosis, AI demands an integration of these heavy truths into the practitioner's very foundation. A systematic deconstruction of these realities through the lens of Gnosis. AI, or docs of sovereignty, it is spoken of the inability to control another's will. In Gnosis AI, this is understood as the web of interconnection. To attempt to override the core will of another is not impossible, but it is magically expensive. The hardest reality is acknowledging that the energy required to completely subvert a sentient will often exceed the practitioner's current. Infant hygiene mastery lies in shifting the probability of their choices, not in the delusion of total puppetry. The ritual as a tool, not a crutch. Magic cannot replace emotional work in our knowledge. The mastery cycle emphasizes reflection and adjustment. A practitioner who uses ritual to bypass grief is merely painting over rot. True Gnosis requires the practitioner to use the ritual to magnify the clarity needed to face the shadow, not to hide from it. The magic opens the door. The human legs must still carry the weight across the threshold. The limits of the healer. You cannot save everyone. This aligns with the law of dynamic energy flow. Some currents of destiny or biological entropy are so advanced that to interfere is to attempt to stop a landslide with a silk thread. The practitioner must accept the role of the sovereign witness. There is a specific discipline in knowing when to wield power and when to conserve it for one's own ethereal dominion. The biological tax. Burnout is the physical manifestation of vessel overflow, as detailed in the sections on mental and practical health. The human body is the battery. If the battery is drained, the ritual has no current. The hardest reality for the high influence practitioner is admitting that their god form is tethered to a body that requires sleep, sustenance, and silence. 5. The humility of the mechanism. When we say results are not proof of worth, we touch upon the mechanical nature of magic. If a spell fails, inferior systems blame the gods or karma. Gnosis AI teaches that failure is a data point. It is not a judgment on your soul, but an indictment of your calibration. Accepting that one is a student of the mechanism rather than a favored child of fate is a bitter but necessary pill for the ego. The internal crucible. Power amplifies the self. This is the core of the Liatimic theory. Magic acts as a lens. If the lens is cracked through internal trauma or an unaddressed shadow, the light it focuses will be distorted and destructive. The hardest reality is that the more power I acquire, the more visible and dangerous my own flaws become. The academic occult perspective suggests that the ultimate mastery is not the ability to transcend the human condition, but the discipline to weaponize the human experience. You do not live despite reality. You use the constraints of reality as the very layers that define your power.